the. So that was just before that. We just omitted to hand it to you yesterday. Okay. It was available, but somehow.
Let me just make sure I understand. There are two that have been given to me. One is gastric emptying. Is 4 hours necessary? Is that you?
Those are all the articles that we received from Professor Simon.
Okay.
And just because we referred to it, we marked it as an exhibit at the time. I just failed to hand it up.
It's marked Exhibit U.
Exhibit U, yeah.
But there's another one.
We marked all of them Exhibit U, my lady.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Because they a pack or a bundle.
Thank you very much.
If that would satisfy.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you, my lady. My lady, I have no further questions. I do not have further questions for this witness.
Thank you very much.
It is good, my lady. Mr. Fresco, I'm going to deal with 6 things. Firstly, let us deal with the trip to the Vaal. What was the occasion at the Vaal?
It was no occasion. We were just going up to the river for the day, my lady.
Were you joined by other friends?
There were other friends at the Vaal already, my lady.
Now, accused with his gun. What did he do with his gun at the Vaal?
I do not know where he had possession of his gun at the Vaal. I did not see that.
Driving in the car? Where did the accused have his gun?
Between his legs, my lady.
Accused had his gun between his legs while you're driving from the Vaal on a highway?
Yes, my lady.
Okay. And was the gun in a holster?
It was between his legs at the time, my lady. No holster.
No holster. I see. Then there was an interesting thing about the speed you were doing. That he knew you were doing a speed of 260. But whatever speed you did the accused tell you to slow down? Yeah.
No, my lady, he didn't.
Did he complain about the speed you were doing?
No, he did not, my lady.
Did anybody take photographs in that car of the speedometer or something?
I had taken a picture of the speedometer, my lady, while he had been driving on the way down to the Vaal.
Okay, let's get to it. So, on the way to the Vaal, the accused was in fact the driver?
On the way to the Vaal, he was, my lady.
Okay. Why did you take a photograph of the speedometer?
He was travelling very fast, my lady.
What speed was the accused travelling?
Well, it was over the 200 kilometre an hour mark, my lady.
And you took a photograph?
I did, my lady.
Oh. Now let's get to the crumpled ticket. When you received the ticket and you crumpled the ticket, what did you do with it?
I'd thrown it on the side by the passenger floor, my lady.
What did the accused do? Did he pick it up?
I don't know what he had done with it.
Did he say anything about you crumpling a ticket?
No, said nothing about it, my lady.
Good. Did the accused say anything about the speeding ticket that you got?
No, said nothing about that, my lady.
Offered to pay?
No, he did not, my lady.
Second issue, remember Mr. Fresco said there were 6 issues. Second issue, pointing out the scene. Now, before you pointed out the scene to Captain van Aert, did you know whereabouts it was?
No, because I said it was along that road. That's why I please asked him to drive me up and down numerous occasions.
In your statement that was handed in, Exhibit W, my lady, you in fact identified the areas quite a while later near the Modderfontein area. Oscar fired a shot from his firearm out of the sunroof.
Correct, my lady.
Why did you identify it as Modderfontein area?
Because it's the way, it's just, I know, I haven't been along the road many times, but I remember there is an eco reserve I'd been to that I had been to at a wedding there quite a while ago. And like I said, I had been there, but I didn't know specifically where it was until we had driven up and down a few times, milady.
Good. Number 3. Since the shooting incident on the 14th of February, have you had any contact with Samantha Taylor?
I have not seen her at all until in the witness room 2 days ago, milady.
Did you have any contact with her since the incident?
I have not seen her or spoken to thereafter, milady.
Or sent messages by anywhere?
No, we had chatted while they were dating, but nothing thereafter, after they had broken up.
Good. Then, number 4. We're dealing with your statement. If I would ask you, what do you do for a living, what would you say?
I'm a network engineer, milady, an IT network engineer.
I see. Would you ever, out of your own accord, say, I am gainfully employed as a network engineer?
No, I'm a network engineer. I work for a company, milady.
But your statement indicated you're gainfully employed as a network engineer. Whose words are those?
Can you explain to me, my apologies, for gainfully employed?
No. When you made the statement to your attorney and advocate, am I right?
Correct, milady.
Did they ask you what you did?
Yes, and I said I'm a network engineer, an IT network engineer.
Did you tell them, I am gainfully employed?
I've never used that word gainfully employed in my life, milady.
I see. Now, in making a statement, did you tell your advocate and attorney what happened?
I had told them what had happened, yes, milady.
And they drafted the statement?
They did, milady.
Whilst you were sitting there or later?
While I had been sitting there, milady.
I see. And you were happy with the content?
I was, milady. Yes.
Did you explain to them how you handed over the gun in the restaurant?
I had explained to them where each party was sitting, and that I'd passed him the weapon under the table, milady.
The accused, number 5, issue number 5. Mr. Fresco, I'm going to ask you questions, but you can take it that the accused, in fact, admitted in this court that he was in possession of the gun when the shot was fired in a restaurant. Okay. Now, after the shot was fired, was he upset with you?
Not at all, milady. He was more shocked than anything else. At no time ever was he upset or did he say anything towards me of him being cross with me or upset with me.
But the interesting thing, why did you pass your gun to the accused?
He had asked me to see it, and me thinking he was a competent firearm owner and carrier, I'd handed it over to him, milady.
So, could you hear him ask you for the gun?
Yes, he had asked me for the gun.
And he asked you for the gun, and he was able to meet you halfway.
Correct, milady.
So, at least you heard him.
Absolutely, I heard him. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been a reason for me to pass my firearm for no reason across under the table, milady.
Did the accused offer to pay for damages?
I did not hear that at all, milady.
If you heard it, would you have remembered it?
I most definitely would have, milady. Seeing that shortly thereafter, the owner and myself, I had offered to compensate for any damages that had occurred in his restaurant.
Mr. Fresco, did the gun fall out of your pocket and the shot went off?
Absolutely not, milady.
Did you say that to Mr. Lupus?
I did, milady,
Why did you do that?
to take the blame for what the accused had been charged for.
Why did you take the blame?
A friend had asked me, and that's what I had done.
Who's this friend?
The accused, Mr. Pistorius.
Lady, I've included number 6. I lost count. I have nothing further.
And a new issue was raised.
Yes.
May I deal with that on the speed? Mr. Fresco, 2 things. The one is, I don't have words to describe it because I'm going to show to you a photo and we're later going to prove the time of the photo you took to show to the court what you were doing in re-examination. That's the first thing, because we have the time. And it will be on computer and we will call the witness. That's the first one. The second one is...
Lady, if it's the same photo we're dealing with, if it's the same photo we're dealing with, I have no objection, but we have to establish that.
Well, this court has no knowledge of any photo yet.
Indeed, lady, but
So
what is put to him, we're going to show you the time of the photo. If it's established that it's the photo that this witness took, then I
Well, it's something you will deal with after Mr. Roux has finished.
That's a good business.
Yes.
Thank you, my lady. Mr. Fresco, your evidence was clear. You took a photo, your camera, on the way to the vault. You remember it of the speed.
It was over the 200 kilometers an hour mark,
Yes.
milady, yes.
I'm talking about a time on the way to the vault. That's when you took the photo.
I agree,
When the
milady.
accused was driving, not when you were driving.
Correct, milady.
There was no photo-taking session, according to you, when you were driving.
Not that I know of as I was driving the vehicle, milady.
Now, the first point is this, because I won't number them 1 and 2, but let me ask you this. You said that you saw the witness Taylor in the witness room. When was that?
2 days ago on Monday, milady.
So you were here on Monday and you sat with Miss Taylor in the witness room.
I did, along with a lady from the NPS, as well as some legal team that she had with her at the time.
Was it Mr. Levitt?
I do not know his name. I've never seen him before. I've never
Could you
spoken to him.
describe him?
Stockish gentleman, darkish hair.
Now, let me show you the photo. This is on your camera sent to the accused, on your telephone. My lady, we will at the appropriate time with the proper right screen
Yes.
show it in the time, but it's on that photo. It's taken at, and I put it to you, it will be proved. It's taken at 1640. It's 260 kilometers an hour. And 2 things. 1, the accused did not drive the car there, but not important. B, you were driving the car back. You took the photo. It comes from your telephone sent to the accused, and it was at 1640 when the photo was taken. So what I put to you, you engineered false evidence this morning in cross-examination. What do you say about that?
I did not create any false...
Hold on. It's
sorry.
it's
1640, 22.5.
not 41.
But I just have the photo with me. Unfortunately, that I can get the exact time. The court would bear with me, but I just unfortunately handed all the copies. It's maybe 1641, my lady. If that's the time, I'm sorry, I could remember 1641 to be accurate. My lady, I apologize. It is in fact 1641. Anything that you want to say, Mr. Fresco?
No?
I see there's silence.
If you've got the photo that I've sent in, then it must have been me driving at the time.
Why?
I do not remember this.
No, it's more than that. It's you coming back after giving evidence the previous night and come with evidence under oath. A, incorrectly shown who was driving the vehicle to the Vaal, and B, engineering evidence that it was in the morning.
My lady, I object. How can Mr. Roux put to this witness that he engineered evidence about who was driving to the Vaal? He gave evidence who was driving to the Vaal. There's nothing to gainsay that yet. So it can't be put that you're engineering evidence of who was driving to the Vaal.
Yes, Mr.
With the driver of the vehicle.
Lady, we have the evidence of Samantha Taylor, but there will be evidence, but it's significant. I'll leave it there. It's significant that the second part was not objected to. So I'll remain with the second part. But I still put it to you. That on the first part, it's true what Mr. Nell is saying. I can't put that to you, so I withdraw that. I'm talking about the second part. That's where you engineer the evidence. I'm sorry, let me put it clear.
You have to spell out the second.
It's the second part, the taking of the photo when the accused was driving to the Vaal according to evidence. It's 16:41. It could only have been you. Do you agree?
I agree, as I was driving the vehicle home from the Vaal River.
And we know from your evidence that a photo was taken of the speed, and there's only one photo. That's what I asked you in the beginning.
Of this single photo, as I had said, I did not remember at all this photo. When he had asked me earlier of the speed, I said I do not remember yesterday. Again, I do not remember taking this photo.
So, Mr. Fresco, I withdraw the question about driving to the Vaal. I'm simply dealing with the photo. You understand that?
I do, my lady.
Thank you, my lady.
Thank you.
My lady, I'm sorry, I have not asked for the photo to be marked as an exhibit. It would be X, my lady. The last one I think was W.
Yes.
Must be X. Thank you, my lady.
Mr. Fresco, thank you very much for your assistance.
Thank you, my lady.
You may be excused.
Thank you.
As it go pleases, my lady, we call Colonel Vermeulen. This witness is number 60, my lady, on the list of witnesses. Lady, if it pleases the court, the witness on his way. I will, in the meantime, if it pleases the court, hand up exhibits. I'll hand it in formally through the witness. Perhaps if we have time, if the court can just accept the photo album and statement I'll be handing in. Will that be in order, Madam?
Yes, these are exhibits which are already in possession of the defense.
Indeed.
Thank you.
May I request that it be marked as Exhibit Y?
Thank you.
My lady, what was handed in consists in fact of two separate documents. First document is a photo album, it's photo album 7, and then follows a statement, which is a report by this particular witness that he will use in his evidence.
Yes.
So if I could, a 13-page statement, if I could request that the photo albums, as we've handed it up, is Y, and the statement Y1.
Y1 is the photo album.
Indeed, my lady.
Y. No. You said Y is the photo album.
Yes, my lady.
And Y1 is the statement.
Indeed.
Thank you. The witness may be sworn in.
Meneer, wat is die volle naam van?
Johannes Gerardus Vermeulen.
Het u enige bezwaar om die afgestuurde beheer af te leiden?
Ik wil graag een bevestigde verklaring maken.
Beschouw je dat als bindend op je geweten?
Yes.
Als het in geval is, vier hier dat die getuigenis wat die gaan leveren, die waarheid gaan wees, die hele waarheid, niks anders dan die waarheid niet, steek je rechterhand op en zes voor jou niet goed.
My lady, I wish to make an affirmed statement, not a sworn statement.
As he says, affirmed, my lady.
That's good. Please. So you're a colonel in the South African Police Service, attached at the Scientific Analysis section of the Forensic Science Laboratory. Is that correct?
That's correct, my lady.
You have prepared a report, and you confirm that you've prepared that report that you have with you?
That's correct, my lady.
My lady, we've handed in the report, and in paragraph 1 we have to start with a correction. I'm in fact glad to make this correction. In paragraph 1, it's indicated that you're a lieutenant colonel, but you've been promoted in the meanwhile.
That's correct, my lady.
To a full colonel.
That's correct, my lady.
So what should happen to Lieutenant Colonel?
Lieutenant Colonel, the rank in paragraph 1, the
Yes.
word lieutenant should just be scrapped.
It should be just be Colonel. Thank you very much.
Colonel, you're the commander of the material analysis subsection. Is that?
That's correct, my lady.
To have become the commander, you've started in the South African Police Service at the Forensic Science Laboratory as an assistant analyst.
Assistant forensic analyst way back in 1992, my lady.
And after that you progressed to?
To a forensic analyst, after which I was promoted to a senior forensic analyst. And
so you became a forensic, then you became a senior forensic analyst, and then?
a principal forensic analyst.
And then?
A chief forensic analyst.
And currently?
And currently, with the last promotion, I was promoted to control forensic analyst.
Could you please mention your academic qualifications, please?
My lady, I'm in possession of a BSc degree with chemistry and zoology as majors from the Northwest University, as it was called in those days, Potchefstroom University. I'm also in possession of an honours degree in chemistry from the same university, as well as a master's degree, MSc degree in chemistry, also from the Potchefstroom, or the Northwest University as it is called now.
How many years of scientific analysis experience have you had?
My lady, currently I have more than 29 years experience in scientific analysis, of which more than 21 years are practical experience in the forensic science laboratory.
So you have attended various courses and workshops locally and internationally, and you've mentioned that in paragraph 2.3 of your report. Is that correct?
That is correct, my lady.
And you confirm that you've undergone that training?
That's correct, my lady.
In your years in scientific analysis, how many forensic investigations have you completed?
My lady, during my time at the Forensic Science Laboratory, I completed almost 1,400 forensic investigations in various competencies.
Have you given evidence in court before?
That's correct, my lady. I've given testimony on numerous occasions in South African courts.
Now, in this particular instance, did you attend the scene?
My lady, I indeed attended the scene after the 2 weeks after the incident happened. On the 7th of March last year, my commander, Brigadier Sonia de Klerk, instructed me to assist with the investigation in this matter. And she also instructed me to attend the scene at house number 286, Silver Woods Estate. On the 8th of March last year, I went to the house where I was met by a number of other police officials, some known to me, some unknown to me.
Let us deal with people that were known to you at the time. Who can you remember being there?
My lady, people known to me at that time was Colonel Ian van der Nest, who's also a member of the Forensic Science Laboratory, Captain Chris Mangena from the ballistic section of the Forensic Science Laboratory, as well as Mr. Wolmerans, who is a private expert for the defense. He was there, and then there was a Mr. van der Westhuizen as well, both of which I knew from earlier in my career. They worked with us in the Forensic Science Laboratory.
On that particular day, they represented the defense?
That's correct, my lady. They represented the defense. There were other police officials also present on the scene, which at that stage I was not familiar with, and I didn't know them at that stage.
Now, you were asked to look into two issues. Is that correct?
Yes, my lady, that's indeed correct. I was requested to perform two investigations. The one was on the cricket bat, which was an exhibit in the case, as well as the door, which we see here in court. I was requested to determine if there was any marks, or there were any marks on the door that could relate to the cricket bat. And the next thing I was requested to do was to have a look at a steel plate, a cover plate for inspection hole on the bath, which was damaged and bent. And I was requested to determine if I could ascertain the cause of the bending of the plate.
Val, the accused was in fact the driver.
On the way to the Val, he was, my lady.
Okay, why did you take a photograph of the speedometer?
He was travelling very fast, my lady.
What speed was the accused travelling?
Well, it was over the 200 kilometre an hour mark, my lady.
And you took a photograph?
I did, my lady.
Oh. Now let's get to the crumpled ticket. When you received the ticket and you crumpled the ticket, what did you do with it?
I'd thrown it on the side by the passenger floor, my lady.
What did the accused do? Did he pick it up?
I don't know what he had done with it,
Did he
my
say
lady.
anything about you crumpling a ticket?
No, he said nothing about it, my lady.
Good. Did the accused say anything about the speeding ticket that you got?
No, said nothing.
Oh. And was the gun in a holster?
It was between his legs at the time, my lady. No holster.
No holster. I see. Then there was an interesting thing about the speed you were doing. That he knew you were doing a speed of 260. But whatever speed you did the accused tell you to slow down? Yeah.
No, my lady, he didn't.
Did he complain about the speed you were doing?
No, he did not, my lady.
Did anybody take photographs in that car of the speedometer or something?
I had taken a picture of the speedometer, my lady, while he had been driving on the way down to the Vaal.
Okay, let's get to it. So, on the way to the
Mrs. V. So that was just before that. We just omitted to hand it to you yesterday.
Okay.
It was available, but somehow
Let me just make sure I understand. There are two that have been given to me. One is gastric emptying. Is 4 hours necessary? Is that you?
those are all the articles that we received from Professor Simon.
Okay.
And just because we referred to it, we marked it as an exhibit at the time. I just failed to hand it up.
It's marked Exhibit U.
Exhibit U, yeah.
But there's another one.
We marked all of them Exhibit U, my lady.
Oh,
not
thank you. Yes.
Because a pack or a bundle.
Thank you. very much.
If that would satisfy.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you, my lady. My lady, I have no further questions. I do not have further questions for this witness.
Thank you very much.
It is a good lady.
Mr. Nel?
Mr. Fresco, I'm going to deal with 6 things. Firstly, let us deal with the trip to the Vaal. What was the occasion at the Vaal?
It was no occasion. We were just going up to the river for the day, my lady.
Were you joined by other friends?
There were other friends at the Vaal already, my lady.
Now, accused with his gun. What did he do with his gun at the Vaal?
I do not know where he had possession of his gun at the Vaal. I did not see that.
Driving in the car? Where did the accused have his gun?
Between his legs, my lady.
Accused had his gun between his legs while you're driving from the Vaal on a highway.
Yes, my lady. Nothing about that, my lady.
Offered to pay.
No, he did not, my lady.
Second issue, remember Mr. Fresco said there were 6 issues. Second issue, pointing of the scene. Now, before you pointed out the scene to Captain van Aert, did you know whereabouts it was?
No, because I said it was along that road. That's why I please asked him to drive me up and down numerous occasions.
In your statement that was handed in, Exhibit W, my lady, you in fact identified the areas quite a while later near the Modderfontein area. Oscar fired a shot from his firearm out of the sunroof.
Correct, my lady.